Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. So I was on IG Live. I screwed up. Somebody was out making a couple points at the end. I got to address these because these are myths out here that, now, I don't know if this guy brought it up just to bring it up what people say, but there's a lot of people who believe this. So somebody said, well, they said, because I was talking about how if guys just get on the offensive and get aggressive, then half of these cases would settle soon thereafter. And it's such an easy fix for guys to get on the offensive just a little bit. I've had cases where guys were half-assing and half doing what I talked about, and the mothers settle within a month. But you guys would rather have the comfort and ease now of not doing anything, and you will suffer pain and suffering untold for the rest of your kid's life because you will let the mother get away with murder and then you end up settling on something or get screwed at trial. When if you would have put some half-assed effort forward and got off your rear and grew a pair of balls, you might get her to just surrender off of you finally standing up to her. That alone does it sometimes. It's such an easy fix for everything, but everybody wants to whine, cry, piss and moan because it's not a bed of flowers and you can't just easily tiptoe through the tulips and get 50-50. So this guy says, they say don't be aggressive and it'll look bad. First of all, who the F are they? And who gives a damn what they say? You are in a court of law. And you have to look at what the law says the court has to consider. The judge has a law degree. The lawyers have a law degree. If the law says don't give custody to somebody who's abused a child, and you say this parent is alienating the child, they're a child abuser, what the hell is wrong with that? How the hell can you say I shouldn't aggressively fight to rescue the kids? Because somebody might think that, and I've been a scared little bitch of peer pressure ever since 6th grade, and whatever they think, that's how I live my life? Come on, man. We have so many memes out here where everybody talks all this smack. I don't care what anybody thinks. Don't let them tell you how to live your life or how to do stuff. Every successful CEO or athlete says, they told me I wasn't going to make it, and I did. And now your life with your kids is on the line, and you're saying I will back down because they said, I heard a rumor from some punk-ass bitch attorney that they say that you should not do this. First and foremost, the aggressive getting on the offensive thing worked for me. And then I also show you winning court documents to prove that it worked. Why would you question it? This is so enraging, it's insane. Because it's more pussification of my gender, being a bunch of pussies, and going the pussy route and not wanting to fight because they said, and I might hurt them feelings. The hell is wrong with my gender? God dang, man. There's multiple reasons to not believe this bullshit. Now, if you have a judge who says you're being too aggressive and attacking the suicidal, child abusing mother who has a registered sex offender with the kids, how dare you? You're going to sit there and say, I'm worried what an asinine sociopath like that says? You're just as stupid and backwards as the court system if you believe that bullcrap and you cower down and wilt like a little fruity cowardly bitch. You do not deserve your kids if your entire life with your kids hangs in the balance on whether you decide, should I worry about what people think in their heart and in their feelings toward me? Or do you want to rescue your kids like a real man does? Damn. And the guy who brought it up, he may have just been bringing up, because I was talking about getting on the offensive and how that works and all that kind of stuff. He may have been bringing up, but they say this and they say that. He may have just been bringing it up as a point. But there's still plenty of people out there who are all into him, they, she, them, zer, whatever, and what they say. Who gives a damn? I went to court. I lost friends. I had a judge chew me out and say, I can't believe there's so much conflict between you and the mother. You guys need to grow up. And I walked out with 5 days a week visitation when my daughter was 4 months old. How many of you guys did that with your punk ass bitch? I'm going to be nice and gentle because they say. What if a prosecutor was worried what they think if they aggressively attack a rapist or a murderer or a gangbanger or a child molester? Do you think a prosecutor is a limp-wristed, coward little punk-ass bitch like you, Mr. and Mrs. Oh, they say, they. First of all, who the hell are they? Oh, they're attorneys. So attorneys think you should not present evidence when a mother is suicidal maniac or beats the kids or has a bunch of boyfriends or she's a hoe and has guys coming through the house running through her and beating her up in front of the kids? Come on, man. How could you actually believe that asinine bullshit for 1 second? You're out of your damn mind. You're the reason why the system is the way that it is. If you believe that crap and you cower like a bitch, you don't deserve your kids. You should have got your tubes tied. Or not your tubes. You should have got your stuff cut. Damn, my gender's a bunch of punk-ass bitches. And I'm being nice right now. You only need 3rd grade level common sense to think if somebody is a monster and I'm trying to rescue my kids from a monster, that I shouldn't have to worry about looking aggressive. Point number 3. First of all, the point number 1 is my proof that I won with the aggressive route. Point number 2 is, why do you even care what somebody thinks when your life with your kid is online? Really what I think, it's a psychological coping mechanism so you have an excuse to be a punk-ass bitch and cower out of your kid's life because you're so pussy-whipped and you've been such handpicked like a little fruity little bitch. Every single one of you that doesn't like my tone, you are the fruity feminine simps that are destroying our country. Everybody else should be enraged as I am that there's punks out there preaching this bullcrap occult doctrine that you have to worry about what somebody thinks when you're aggressive. So back to point number 3. The entire court system is built upon arguing and fighting and litigating. How the hell do you say attorneys go around advertising? We will represent you with aggressive, zealous, vigorous advocacy. We will zealously and aggressively fight for your rights. You've seen that before, haven't you? I can't believe I have to explain this to anybody that's over 10 years old. Attorneys say they aggressively fight for people, and you say, well, they said that I can't be aggressive in court. Every single freaking attorney who ever advertises anything says the word aggressive on their advocacy. The nature of court is competitive, oral argument. You have a prevailing party. And then you have the advertisers of the attorneys unabashedly saying, I will aggressively fight for you. You have a prevailing party, means you have a winner and loser. And again, you're looking at the law. What does the law say in a court of law where you have lawyers with law degrees and a judge with a law degree, and you go in there and say, the law says don't place a child with a child abuser. She's a child abuser. You cannot place the children in there. And you're aggressively attacking her. Now that doesn't mean go in court and throw knives at her or splash water on her face or cuss her out. That means be on the offensive. And I didn't even say the word aggressive. I said the word offensive. And then that just triggered a guy to say, well, you can't do that. You know that you give me the cross and putting garlic on me and stuff like that. Like I'm the monster for saying stand up for justice. Got such a freaking backwards ass, punk ass bitch society where it's harsh to act aggressive. Where the hell do you even get that from? You get it from a feminized country that we turned into where you can't say anything negative without being banned or kicked off this or kicked off that or discriminated against a group of a bunch of fruity little punks who are so thin-skinned they want to pass laws to go to jail if you don't approve of their lifestyle. And then they say, oh, we have the same movement as black people did in the civil rights movement. No, you didn't. You didn't get your ears cut off and castrated and thrown in jail for your preference. Nobody knows your preference half the time unless you announce it. People can see a black person, say they're a black person, they go, assault them or whatever. You didn't have that. You didn't have slavery for your preference. We have a feminized, simp, limp-wristed, cowardly society that says, don't be aggressive. Now, what if you're in a boxing match? Would you ever have somebody say, well, don't punch too hard? Or a football game, don't tackle or hit them too aggressively? That's the nature of the game. And I just told you the nature of litigation is to go to court and argue and prevail and have oral argument and to fight. And you're saying don't use tactics that are consistent with the entire nature of a court matter? You're out of your damn mind. What the hell is wrong with you if you buy that bullshit? Damn. Attorneys and judges went to law school and are supposed to separate themselves from the emotion of the situation. So they shouldn't get there. I just had somebody say, well, we don't want to piss off the judge. How can you worry about pissing off a judge when the judge is thick-skinned and tough and knows the law? How can you worry about the judge's feelings? Is this high school prom and you're worried about leaving your date? Is this the altar and you're worried about leaving your bride? Is the judge as sensitive as a homecoming queen who got stood up or a prom queen who got stood up for prom? Come on, man. You are looking for excuses to be a bitch and to not have to fight. That's all this is. You can't possibly believe the bullshit, because here's point number 4. The mother is aggressively slaughtering you and lying about you in court. Now, if you're new to my channel, maybe you don't know this, but I talk about this stuff all the time. How come she can aggressively get on the offensive, go to war with you, and lie about you, and you can't go in there and tell the truth and talk about the law? You are effed up in the head, and you are screwing this up for the rest of us because you're the punk-ass bitches who won't fight, and the system won't change, and you're the whiny little crying little sissies creating the father's rights movement groups who aren't doing a damn thing but whining and crying and complaining. If I was a sensitive bitch like any of you who say, well, you can't be aggressive, there'd be thousands of people out there never seeing their kids again. But because I stood my ground and I stand up and talk like I do, it attracts guys with balls who are sick and tired of being stifled by their attorney with this occult doctrine. Don't be too aggressive. It's just really not nice. Lost your damn mind. You can't be too aggressive. Now, again, I'm not saying going in there guns blazing or talk like I'm talking now. I said get onto the offensive. And then somebody was triggered to say, oh my God, that's blasphemy. You can't be aggressive toward a woman because they say. Now, if you have some balls or if you have the common sense that my sister with Down syndrome knows how to ask a question. When you say something definitively, oh, you can't say that. Okay, where do you get that from? How do you know that? How much experience have you had trying to be aggressive and you got shot down? Well, none. I just heard, and I'm just passing along the rumor that all us punk-ass, fruity little bitch-made punks are sitting here living by. If you would just ask and dig a little deeper and question some things, God dang, man, you're a bitch in your own mind, too. You're scared to even ask a freaking common sense question that my sister with Down syndrome would ask. Damn. That's why I'll never be popular. Because all the punk-ass bitches are going to all the pages where they whine, cry, and piss and moan because they want mommy to hug them and make them feel better. If you're a dumbass and had a kid with a crazy woman, sorry, your life is inconvenienced now. It's time to go to war and fight for your kid. Yeah, it's not fair. Yeah, it shouldn't happen. But don't flatter yourself. You're not the only person in the history of the world who was wronged. Grow some balls and help fight for justice and right or wrong. Do you think the guys that won Brown versus Board education didn't aggressively fight? Do you think people who fought for any kind of justice and anything didn't aggressively fight? If they were passive bitches like you, nothing would have changed in this country in any area of law. That's how this works. Wake the hell up, grow some balls, stop with this bitch ass excuse so that you have an excuse to lay down and be the bitch that you are. Man up.